Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to another Kabbalat Shabbat service. We hope you'll join in and raise your voices as we begin with Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, how beautiful it is to be together. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, hinei ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad, 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'mana'im, hinei ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad, 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 shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, speaker. Every Friday evening, our family gathers at 6:30 for candles, wine, and challah.
We really discovered that FaceTime works as a wonderful way to connect four homes in two different states.
There is at least one challah shown with pride that has just been baked and taken out of the oven.
And sometimes there's more than one, and there's a competition. Who has the most beautiful, who has the largest, who has the most interesting looking challah created for the week. We recognize that it is an incredibly special blessing when families, when community is able to gather together for Shabbat. Achad Ha'am, one of the great teachers of the last century, taught, more than Israel has kept Shabbat, the Sabbath has kept Israel.
When our children were growing up, we were always together for Shabbat dinner.
After a busy week with so many meetings, carpools, we were all engaged in our own activities. That Shabbat evening was really a time for us to sit around the table and have a little bit of time to talk. The Sabbath has kept our people. We were reminded of what Achad Ha'am taught us. More than Israel has kept the Sabbath. By being together as a community, as a family, we've been able to pass the traditions of Shabbat down L'dor Vador from generation to generation.
We are so happy that the Team Tefillah team will be joining us for our service this evening. Please join me in the blessing of the Sabbath candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad yishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shemo tiferet v'ritila. Lecha dodi kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'nerchaki mekor, haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ha'maseh במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך, קומי אורי, 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 שיר דבר. Shabbat nekabela, Roy v'shalom, ateret bala gam besimcha, uvetzola toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, la 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 Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated as we continue with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem Emet. We now welcome Temple's Teen Tefillah team as they lead us in our Song of Redemption.
V'shamru is the essence of Shabbat. For in 6 days God created the world, and on the seventh day God rested. There are so many sweet memories of Shabbat, especially the feeling of sitting next to my dad during Shabbat services, sometimes holding hands and always timing the rabbi's sermons. Oh, and the oneg. We didn't have 7-layer cake in Seattle, but we did have trays and trays of the most delicious cookies and red rose tea that they served in little china teacups. Services started late, and we lived about a half an hour away. And so the other thing that stands out to me is that I would always fall asleep on the way home. And that feeling of pulling up to the house, waking up, and stumbling into my bed. Shabbat has taken many forms in the course of my life, but the memories of red rose tea and falling asleep on the way home from services remain the most vivid to me and to my sisters. Funny enough, it's these feel-good Shabbat moments that link me to my family, to our tradition, and to this Vishamru prayer.
Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותיר לעולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל, בני ישראל, את השבת לעשות, את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת וינפש.
We rise if it's comfortable for the avot. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, ve'Hanora, Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei HaKol, וזוכר הסתיוות והימאות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, לחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו ישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, נחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. As you're seated, we pray silently.
There are some moments in life that you just never forget, and songs that can take you right back to that moment. For me, the song is the Mishaberach, and the moment was almost 17 years ago when my sister Risa was sick and being cared for at U of M Hospital. You know, when you live in a hospital, it's really easy to lose track of the days, and that's exactly what happened to us. But then, Cantor Michaels came into the unit to sing Mishaberach to Risa. That's how I knew Shabbat was coming. It felt so good to be grounded again in time, and of course to be grounded in sacred time, knowing that Shabbat was on its way. Cantor Michaels sang the Mishaberach to Risa, but the whole unit listened. And for those few moments, everyone there got a piece of Shabbat and felt the peace of Shabbat. There was an energy that came in that we all needed, an energy of healing and love and hope. And when you're scared, that's exactly what you need. Healing and love and hope. I will never forget that moment, that sweet moment of Shabbat in an intensive care unit at U of M Hospital. I am grateful for the Mishaberach, for hearing it sung at that time, and I'm grateful for it now. We sing the Mishaberach together.
To make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Last week, we received difficult news from the world of Jewish summer camping. The Union for Reform Judaism decided to close the doors of its camp out of uncertainty for the summer. So our students who attend Camp George and 6 Points this summer are not sure what their summer plans will entail. And then the beginning of this week, we learned from Tamarack camps here in Michigan that they also will be not holding their summer programs this summer. It's difficult for all of us who have a connection to camp. For me, many of my greatest Shabbat memories actually come from summer spent at the Goldman Union Camp outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. The most special times were times spent in front of the campfire on Shabbat evenings. A campfire that looked somewhat like this campfire as I wear this t-shirt, because my camp, the Goldman Camp, was my home for so many summers. But the most wonderful times on Shabbat evenings came as my friends and I gathered around the campfire. The evening began with Shabbat services, followed by a beautiful Shabbat meal. And then all of us ran to get our seats in front of the campfire so that we could not only see the flames burning, but hear the story told by the camp director, Rabbi Ron Klotz. Each week, he looked into Jewish tradition to find a tale that would teach a lesson for life. So tonight, I want to share with you a story from my memory, a story that has made a difference in my life. The story has been retold by many different people throughout Jewish history. This version is the one I remember hearing in front of that incredible campfire moment at Goldman Union Camp. Once upon a time, there was a rabbi. He was a famous rabbi who moved from town to town and finally settled in one particular town where he achieved greatness. The people of the town turned to him for advice and comfort in moments of joy and celebration and days of challenge. But over the years, he developed habits that the people in the town simply did not understand. It turns out that each and every Thursday night, just before Shabbat was coming in, the rabbi seemingly would disappear. People in the town talked about what he might be doing. Was he speaking to God? Was he simply leaving them for this special preparation? The rumors flew, but nobody knew exactly what was happening with that rabbi each and every Thursday night. until one of his students determined himself to find out. The student hid outside the rabbi's home in the shadow of the bushes, waiting to see what the rabbi would do. He listened until he heard rustling inside the rabbi's home, and then the door opened and the rabbi stood out in his front yard. But the student noticed the rabbi did not look like the rabbi normally appeared. Rather than wearing his rabbi garb, he was dressed like a peasant. A simple jacket, a bag that was empty, carrying an axe in his hands. The student watched as the rabbi walked from the town to the outskirts and into the forest. The student kept his distance, but allowed himself the ability to see the rabbi's every move. He saw the rabbi stop and chop at a dead tree that had fallen. He took some of the wood and placed it into his bag and continued walking deeper into the forest. The student followed as the rabbi finally, several miles into that forest, came upon a clearing in the woods. In the middle of the clearing was a small hut. Nothing fancy, just a simple cabin. Inside there was a single light. It appeared that a flame was burning. The student watched as the rabbi carefully walked up to the door, made a knocking, and heard a voice from inside say, "Who is it?" The rabbi gently said, "It's me again. I've come, as I come every week, with a bag of wood for you to help you keep your fire burning so that you can stay warm." The door cracked open. An elderly woman popped her head through. Seeing the rabbi standing there, opened her door and said, "I have nothing to pay you." The rabbi, dressed as a peasant, said, "No worries. I bring this from my heart." And he walked into her home, placing the wood on her hearth. He stoked the fire a bit as the student watched from several yards away until the fire was raging again and warmth came out of the home. The rabbi left, closed the door, and very carefully walked back into town. Followed by the student all the way from a distance, he couldn't believe his eyes. The rabbi went home, took off his clothing, and went to bed. And the next morning, as he had every other Shabbat, prepared for that Friday night service. Now, the people, as always, talked about where the rabbi had gone, what had happened to the rabbi each and every Thursday night. But in this particular case, when his student heard others talking about what may have been, when the others said things like, "Perhaps the rabbi went up to heaven," that student looked amusingly and said, "If not higher." If not higher. It's the name of our story, but I believe it's a lesson of life. Each of us has the power to behave like that rabbi, to find our inner goodness, the wonderful gifts of our souls, and to offer them to others. For me, that lesson that began at a campfire, much like the one behind me, has continued to sustain me ever since. Those campfire days were some 30 years ago, but I remember the sound of the flames, the crackling wood, the smell of that burning fire, and the lessons that my friend Rabbi Ron allowed to enter my soul. I hope that tonight, on this beautiful Shabbat, each of you is able to go even higher. Shabbat Shalom.
If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today. Kedosha, bye, 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 bye. It's how we help. It's how we give. It's how we pray. It's how we heal. It's how we live. It's how we help. It's how we give. It's how we pray. It's how we heal. It's how we live. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today, don't shout.
Please rise for the Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotze breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As many of you know, I am the resident Luddite of Temple Israel. If it were up to me, I would use no technology at all. Well, except for my word processor, because truly I cannot read my own handwriting. That said, I am deeply grateful for this technology, which allows us to be in touch with one another each and every Shabbat. But this is not a time in the service for us to be in touch with one another. This is a time for us to be in touch with our beloved departed. And we, your clergy, have struggled with the limits of this technology for this aspect of the service. After all, we don't have Art Dubin and his amazing usher corps to take the names of your loved ones at the door. And we must video this service early in the week, and we miss many, many names. We know that. And so this has caused us to think deeply about what the saying of a name really means. And it occurred to us that this technology allows us to do something that we rarely get to do at Temple Israel unless the congregation is very small. To allow each of you to speak the name of your loved one aloud. to bring his features into your mind, to bring her voice into your soul. Oh, we will do our best to list those names on the screen. But in truth, my advice, Luddite that I am, is to close your eyes, to truly hear the name of your loved one, to speak the name of your loved one. So, if you have lost someone in the past 30 days of Shloshim, I would ask you now to rise if you are able, and to speak his or her name aloud. If you are observing Yartzeit, I would ask you to rise and to bring that name to your lips and into your heart. If you have lost someone during the past 11 months, or just want to remember someone that you have loved and lost, please rise and speak those names so that all of us can hear them spiritually through the miracle of this technology. As together we rise for the reciting of the Kaddish, so that we can remember all of their names with love. We continue on page 199. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiram b'yama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And let us say, Amen.
We conclude our service with Ein Kelohim.